No. Play it while we're spoiler casting it.
Yeah, because that's about as long as it takes, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Even though it's 10 chapters, yeah, it takes about like 7 to 8 hours. Hello and welcome
Yeah.
to BzG's very first spoiler cast. I am your host, Barrett Courtney, and here joining me today are Shaun and Andrew from Comics and Joysticks. Now, you guys do a
Yes.
podcast and also a YouTube channel. What are your platforms? Where can we find you guys on?
You can find us on YouTube under Comics and Joysticks. You can find us on SoundCloud under Comics and Joysticks. Twitch, Comics underscore Joysticks. We're
Instagram.
everywhere. Yeah. On
Instagram. All right.
Instagram. Oh, I'm on
We'll,
Instagram. I don't know. Pretty
we'll
much
remind the
everything. You'll just
audience.
find it.
We'll remind the audience at the end where we can find you all. But if you want to start looking up where you can find these guys, you can start looking that up now. And today we are spoiler casting Until Dawn, new PlayStation exclusive title by Supermassive. We did some research before we went up, and their first major title besides doing downloadable content for Little Big Planet. So we're here. We're here to talk about Until Dawn. What were your guys' general thoughts about the game? Like, I don't want to make you do like an exact like score-based sort of thing, but if you had to say you like it or you don't like it or you recommend it or you don't recommend it, like what do you feel about that? We'll start with Andrew.
I mean, I don't want to like bash Telltale's Walking Dead or like The Wolf Among Us or anything like that, but it's a much more complex like experience than those kind of games, and it's kind of like the same format in a way, here and there. You choose like what you're gonna say, then you choose like actions and like everything you're gonna do, and like those actions and the things you say, they determine how the gameplay is gonna play out and everything. And I mean, like I love Telltale games, but like this was just such a more like in-depth experience. And I mean, like a lot of people I've seen on like Facebook, they've been like, "Oh, should I buy this? Should I not buy this?" And it's like, I mean, like you don't. This is like such a unique gaming experience. Like I think it's probably one of my top 5 favorite gaming experiences so far this year. And
Okay.
I honestly, yeah, I mean, I really didn't expect it to be anything great, but like, it's like it's so unique that you like want to go back and play it all the way from the beginning because you want to know what other outcomes can happen. And like last night, my roommate and his girlfriend were playing the game, and I walked into his room when he was playing, and he was playing a part that I obviously played, and he did the opposite thing of what I did, and it was a completely different outcome, like altogether. And that kind of like blew me away because I feel like I don't see that with games like this one. Like it might change like a little bit here and there, and it might just like change the dialogue, but
Yeah.
like the gameplay wise, it was just I was like, whoa, like that's completely different than what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really awesome. Yeah, I mean, I recommend this game. It's, I mean, it is $60, but
Yeah.
honestly, yeah,
I don't know if it's confirmed, but if you know any of us from the Kind of Funny community, I saw
Mm-hmm.
on the Facebooks they're talking about it's going to go on sale on Best Buy. I think in
Already.
a couple weeks. Yeah, in like a week or two for 48. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay. And
Uh,
that's what I got it for. Was 48.
okay.
How?
Uh,
Oh, you did the.
yeah, I have the Best Buy Gamers Club thing, and
Mhm.
honestly, like, I'm here to like promote that thing because
It's awesome. I hear it's awesome.
yeah, you're basically
I can't use it
you're
though.
you're shooting yourself in the foot if you like don't get it.
Okay.
And
I do all digital. I can't do it.
I know, I understand.
Uh,
I'm the physical copy guy. I have to have
yeah.
it on the shelf.
I have to
I
have
like
my collections. I'm
yeah,
just
I
like,
like to look at it as, as I'm like laying in my bed or whatever. I'll look over and be like, "Oh, my collection."
And yeah, you're just like laying on your bed, like yes,
stroking myself. And oh god. No, but like, yeah, the Best Buy Gamer Club. You know, it's $30 for 2 years. You get 20% off all brand new games. So I've already bought 5 games with it, and within the first 3 games, like I've already
it's been worth it.
Yeah, I've already made my money back. And another cool thing with the Gamer Club thing, they send you a bunch of coupons like every couple weeks or whatever. And then every game that you pre-order and purchase, like you actually like complete the pre-order or whatever, they'll give you $10 in store cash.
Oh, nice.
So it's like you'd be stupid not to do it. But anyways,
I got
not have Best Buy.
I have GameStop.
Okay. Yeah, you say that like, oh.
Well, the whole thing, I was trading in a bunch of games one day, and the dude was like, "You can upgrade for like $3 today if you wanted to, because this would cover your game and like a couple more bucks if you want to do that." I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
So I figured why not, because I didn't get any special offers from any Best Buy employee or anything, so.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Shaun, what are your general thoughts on the game, and would you recommend it?
It's good. That's it.
You weren't like completely blown away, or?
No. I had an awesome time with it. I mean, I didn't get to sit there and push the buttons myself, but I've definitely seen it played through a couple times between the 2 times I've actually seen it live, and then the other times I've watched other people play it on like Twitch and YouTube and stuff.
Cool.
And just from like what I've seen, since I've watched a lot of gameplay, like I'll leave streams on while I'm doing other stuff. I've seen so many different parts of the game that I didn't see the first 2 times around, that I was like kind of blown away by like the fact that there's so much there that you can miss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and just like the different outcomes and like what happens to each of these people, they can like die in a bunch of different ways, and you can end up with like completely different group of survivors at the end. I think it right now there's a lot of these kind of games that are out there that kind of give you choices, and you make decisions and things happen differently based on what you're doing, but I think this one is the one that I've noticed actually makes you feel like it's making a difference in the story. Because there's a lot of them where you make choices and it makes like small differences with like the characters, but
it feels
the
like
story
this is the
first
one that it like actually stands out and totally drastically changes the outcome.
Yeah, I mean,
I can dig it.
overall the story is pretty much the same every time you play through it, but like just the fact that like if a character dies here, he's not coming back for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And well, for the most part, and then
Spoilers.
I don't know. Well, it's a spoiler cast, right?
Yeah,
I know.
Spoilercast. We're gonna spoil the fuck out of this game in like a minute. We're just talking about.
Sam did it. It was all Sam. She was behind it all.
Damn it, Hayden
Pantera or whatever.
Panera. Hayden Panera.
Yeah.
Hayden Panera or Hayden Pantera?
Pantera.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Pantera.
Okay. So, would you recommend it to any general video gamers out there?
Yeah, I mean, even people who don't really play video games, like my girlfriend was into it because like she loves the whole slasher horror flick vibe, and like the fact that it's not like super intensive. I mean, you got to push buttons quickly, but like I don't know, it's not too hard.
Yeah.
I feel like this is super accessible and like a really awesome display of like what video games can do. So I'd say anyone should pick it up if you have the opportunity.
Cool. Yeah, my general thoughts. I fucking love this game, to be honest. It's one of those things that I didn't know I wanted, and I didn't know like it was this I was looking for until I was done with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's one. I'm not like a huge gamer. Contrary to the fact that we're called Bayazona gamers. But the one game that felt a little similar, I'm gonna go back to the last gen of consoles. There's a pretty poorly received game called Spider-Man: Web of Shadows that I personally love, and there's no matter how you feel about that game or not, there's a similar way of, depending on some choices you made, the ending could be completely different. And that was what I personally loved about that game, and I didn't feel like I had really gotten that level of changing a game until this, like you were saying earlier, of being able to completely, not like the story itself changing, but the ending can be very drastically different. And it just makes me interested, especially going through the second playthrough, trying to save everyone. Like, what little things really make that much of a difference and can really butterfly effect this whole game? Man, they really lay on that fucking thing in the beginning of the game real thick.
Yeah.
Butterfly effect. Boom.
There's butterflies everywhere.
She's got a fucking butterfly tattoo and everything.
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, we get it. We get it.
What
We
I want to
understand.
know, but I never figured out, is if you shoot that fucking squirrel at the beginning, like,
I think
does it change everything?
I think it. When I first did it, when I first got that opportunity, my girlfriend had walked in. She's like, "Don't do it, because if you do it, the squirrels are gonna come and kill you later."
I just couldn't kill a squirrel. I'm like, oh man, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I killed it. I shot it.
Oh,
so
you dick.
what happened? I feel like that was like just a tutorial thing where it might have just been something little.
I have no idea. Like, what?
Or
Like the squirrel comes and like bites you or something? I don't know. I guess it'd be dead. I don't know.
It might have
Zombie
changed
squirrel.
the characteristics of the person you're playing as. Like in that part, you're playing as Chris. So it might have just changed his like humor level down or whatever.
Yeah, he's more of a dick now.
He's more of a fucking squirrel hater now.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend this game. I'll be doing this is more of a spoiler cast, but if you're a regular viewer of Bayzona Gamers, you know we have our show Quick Reviews, and I'll probably do a quick review of my full thoughts on it. But I do recommend this game, and I'll hold off on really thinking about a score for us. So yeah, it's something I weirdly didn't know I was looking for, and I found it. So the next thing I want to talk about were our outcomes in our playthrough. Shaun, you personally didn't play it, but from what your girlfriend has played so far and what you've seen from friends and streams, what outcome do you see more regularly? I should ask, probably.
Like, one thing that I see everyone do, you know, at the end when so Sam can flip the switch or like wait.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people just like go run, flip the switch, and like kill like 3 of their friends right at the end.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen a lot. I think that's pretty funny because you get to the end, you have like all these people still alive, and then like you make the wrong choice like right at the end. I thought that was pretty funny.
that was like an Andrew's way of saying, yeah, I fucking did that and I regret it.
Yeah, I did that exactly. Ugh.
Yeah, I did that as well, and it's because when they give you that moment, like at the beginning when you get the option to save Mike or run out the building, I was like, no, I gotta save Mike, like let's do that first.
Yeah.
And he's really the only person in your view when you get that option, because after that, what I've noticed is if you save Mike and then like the second option where you like run to the door or hide, you don't see anybody else. Like you don't see your other friends, so you sort of forget about them. So the first opportunity I was given in that situation, I fucking booked it to the door. Originally having 6 out of the 8 people still alive, and then in the last minute I only had 4 out of 8 people alive. So that was a huge blow towards myself. It was so fucking frustrating. Andrew, who survived in your first playthrough?
So the funny thing is, like, everyone, I had a lot of people like alive on the last chapter of the game.
Oh, okay.
And just one by one, like these little decisions I was making, like it would kill everyone. Like so Emily
You're the death dealer, that's why.
Yeah. Emily like got her neck like broken. Or Ashley. With Emily, Mike, I had Mike shoot her because I thought like, because she got bit by the Wendigo, so I was like, oh, that's a classic like werewolf move, you know, like she's gonna become one. And then
what about
Mike's
the fact they tell you everyone can live?
Yeah,
well,
so
they told me that after I shot her.
Well, the guy with the flamethrower hinted at you where he says the only way, when you guys are in the living room before you go down in the basement, the guy with the flamethrower says, like, the only way you transform is
the cannibalism.
Cannibalism, and they sort of blow over that. Like, it's something you gotta, like, pay attention to and sort of remember and bring that back. And so when I got that option to kill her, I was like, no, it's she's gonna be fine. So yeah, no, I can totally.
No,
I kind of wanted them to just shoot her because she's a raging bitch throughout the entire game.
She was the worst. But the second I got the chance to do it, I blew her head off. Like
Andrew did it.
I was like, boom, you know.
I don't know who. I'm just gonna ask this question because I think it's. In the analyst portions, at one point you get asked like who you like more, and like you get to point at like Josh or Sam or Jessica, and I feel like the famous one when it boils down to it, the last comparison we get, and he asks us who we hate more, and I feel like everybody's last comparison is Jessica and Emily. Who do we like least in this?
Emily.
Emily.
Oh wow!
I mean, I shot her in the eye, so yeah. Sorry.
I think
that's her ex-boyfriend did it too, man. It's fucked up.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, her ex-boyfriend.
I picked Jessica. There's just something about obnoxious blonde white girls that just drive me fucking insane.
She's a sorority girl. She parties and
exactly.
drinks. She bangs all the football players on the team.
Exactly, and me being the introvert who started a nerdy YouTube show with my friends, I'm the polar opposite of that. So
exactly.
You're not the football guy?
No, surprisingly not. I have the legs to be a kicker.
There you go.
Yeah. I used to pitch in baseball in my younger days, so that got me some meaty-ass legs.
Nice.
So I'm trying to think of like major decisions that we made in this game. Oh, an interesting one is as Matt. Did you guys decide to save M or save yourself as Matt?
I jumped, I didn't jump. I watched someone else jump.
I felt like if I had chose to save M, both of them would have died. So I jumped. I was like, fuck it. You know, I'd rather have Matt live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you pick to jump, Andrew?
Yeah, I just like at any cost or at any chance I could get, I just wanted to be away from Emily. I didn't care if she got just destroyed or anything, but you know. And the funny thing is, while she's like hanging there, you can like call out her bullshit and be like, "Yo, I saw you with Mike. Why'd you like kiss him or whatever?"
And like, while she's dying, you can be like,
you can do that. And she was like, "This isn't the time, you idiot, blah blah blah." Like, and I'm just like, "No, we got to talk about this. This is the best time to talk about this." Yeah.
We're having an intervention right now.
While you're hanging upside down here.
Yeah. Then I ditched her.
So
I ditched her.
Oh.
I should have bitched her too.
He out-bitched the bitch.
I was like, how do you bitch somebody? I don't know. All right.
Sort of going back a little bit, something I do want to touch up on. If you haven't played Until Dawn and you're weirdly watching the Spoilercast, there are two like horror aspects to this. There's the supernatural aspect to it, and there is the sort of slasher aspect to it that ends up not being real. What did you guys think about the combination of those two stories coming together? Because my girlfriend brought up a good point, because she's been watching me play it a lot, is that she would have rather had just one or the other, and she felt like the inclusion of both of them might have muddled it down altogether a little bit. So what's your input on that? I'll leave it up to anybody to go first.
Shaun, you can go first.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Looking at reviews, because I was very curious about how this would review before I decided to pick it up.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people saying that the only thing that brought this down for them was the fact that halfway through you find out that, like, the slasher's not real, and, like, this other thing happens, and it just kind of, all of a sudden the game turns into something else.
It turns almost, for me at least, in like the final couple of the chapters, it almost turned into a shooter. Almost.
Yeah, like Guns on Rails or something like that, where the dude
Yeah.
just kind of runs and you have to shoot every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. After watching it, like, played and thinking about it for a while, I mean, there's one point, at least in the story, where you're dealing with this psycho. He's, like, rounding up everybody, and you don't know why.
Yeah.
There's a ghost in the house. Like, you're running into, like, this ghost creeping around in the basement, and that was the worst part for me, because I fucking hate ghosts. It's
Yeah,
like I'd rather be locked in a room with, like, a psycho killer than, like, have some bitch running around disappearing on me.
That brought up, scarring flashbacks of playing PT for me. Because
Yeah, no, I stayed away from that.
I played that for a little bit, and the 3 hours I played of that game, like, all came back to me when we went downstairs and started following her. I was like, God damn it, no, I'm not feeling this.
But yeah, you're dealing with the psycho, the ghost, and, like, these monsters in the woods all at the same time. I'm like, God damn, this game has everything. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, all these people are going through, like, all these different things, and then you find out that, like, some of it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, the ghost was made up by Josh. Josh was pulling a prank on everybody, and the psycho was Josh pulling the prank and all that. So, but
I think it would have been better if Josh was actually trying to kill them all.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. He forced Mike to cut off his own finger, so that's already kind of
no.
Well,
that wasn't
actually
him.
That was
a trap set for the Wendigo.
Yeah. The flamethrower dude who's always fighting the Wendigos, that was like a trap because, like, you see because they only see motion. So it was going back and forth to attract them, and then when they would go into it, it would fuck up their hand or whatever.
Right.
That was a real arm that they were using, though, because the Wendigo eat people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So it was meant to trap them, yeah. But,
No, continue, sorry. I lost my train of thought.
So, like, with all this stuff happening, like, after you get the big reveal, I don't know. I kind of liked how the story went because this was all kind of set up by him, and then it just so happened that some real creep shit was actually happening on the mountain at the same time. Overall, I thought it was a cool story, and I probably wouldn't change it too much, but I don't have, like, the kind of, what's the word? Creativity to do that kind of stuff, so I can't write a story, probably, so I'll just leave it the way it is. But
I'm good at analyzing stories. I'm not good at writing stories.
No. Yeah, that's why we talk about them. Other people's stuff.
Exactly. Andrew, what are your thoughts on the story and how that all played out?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of like in the same boat as Shaun. Just kind of like it was interesting enough to where it would have been awesome for, like, the ghost to have been real and, like, the psycho. Yeah, that's right, sorry. But then, like, it would have been just as interesting if Josh was like, hey, I'm going to kill you guys because you basically, you shamed my sister, and then they both died. And I mean, like, honestly, I have no gripes with the story. And I don't really know if it could have been better, but it definitely could have been different. But it was definitely like a twist I didn't see coming. Well, like, okay, I knew it was one of them, like, messing around with everyone else. That's
Josh
like
was supposed to be dead.
Yeah, that's like really obvious. And like the ghost, I mean, because like the one thing I really liked was that every like the psycho who was Josh was chasing like certain people. The ghost was chasing like Chris and like his little girlfriend, and then the Wendigo was like Matt and Emily or whatever. There was like other people, but I kind of was like, oh man, this is like really cool. Like everyone's kind of like having this different nightmare like over the course of this one night, and then it all just turned out to be, you know, a prank, but then Wendigo killing people.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
So you generally liked it.
Oh yeah. Like I said, honestly, I don't really think the story. I mean, I'm sure it could have been a little bit better, but I wasn't disappointed. Like when the game was done, I was like, okay, that was great. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play it again. I want to play it again soon. So yeah.
I'm gonna have to give a shout out to my girlfriend, Alyssa Shimoda, because if you watched our Let's Play of Until Dawn that went up this last Saturday, by the time we had recorded this Let's Play, I was halfway through my own playthrough, and in the Let's Play we were in like the second or third hour. Mm-hmm. And she had guessed, because we're currently catching up on Supernatural. She had guessed it during the Let's Play. I think it's Wendigos. And when I had finished
where do you get that from? I thought it was the Predator.
Yeah, especially through the vision.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is a huge Supernatural fan, and she was able to pinpoint like the season and episode where they talk about it. She's like, yeah, they talk about it in like season 1, like episode 3, and they do all of these things that they're talking about. I was like, okay, all right. And then I finished my own playthrough like later on, like the next day, and I texted her. I was like, motherfucker, you were right. So just a quick shout out to her to be able to guess that.
Yeah. She's got the chops. She's going to be a Wendigo hunter. She's the flamethrower guy.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I thought I had personally messed up, speaking about the transitioning over to the flamethrower guy. I thought I had personally messed up on the decision when he got killed, but later on I found out that he was just going to fucking die anyway.
I thought that was bullshit. This dude has been fighting Wendigos for, like, his whole
Years.
life.
Yeah.
And then he just gets taken out like a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
thought that
exactly what I thought too. I was like, wait a second, he's been doing this for like so long.
And now finally he gets killed.
One little slip up, okay, just gets his head cut off. I'm like, bullshit.
It's like these damn kids on the mountain fucking distracted him too much or something. I don't know. He was thinking about Hayden Pantera's butt.
Oh, nice.
He got killed.
So I guess my next question for the spoiler cast would be, what was your favorite moment of the game? What's, like, when you were playing through it or watching it, what was the moment you're like, fuck, this is actually pretty awesome?
Oh man.
I'll open that up to anybody.
Oh man.
I can go. I mean, I already know.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I'm thinking.
Okay. So honestly, you're basically primed to hate Mike at the beginning of the game. All right.
Yeah.
He's a jock. You know, he has the hot girlfriend, and like 2 girls want him, and like you could easily get both those girls. Obviously, well, he's dating one of them, but then one of them is ex-girlfriend, but she still wants him. Anyways, but like, but like you're pretty much supposed to hate Mike. You know, he's kind of a dick. Like, and he's, you know, he's just he's a douche bro. That's what I call him.
Yeah.
And the part where he's like by himself and he's going through like the sanatorium or whatever it's called.
Sanatorium.
Yeah.
Sanatorium. Whatever.
Honestly, I was
Whatever it is. I don't know.
I was like, this guy's kind of a badass. Like, and he, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know like how to say it, but like he like
you liked the character development with him.
Yeah, like he overcame like. I feel like he overcame some of his own fears because he was like, okay, I have to get out of this place. I'm going to do whatever it takes to, like, make it out and he's getting chased by, the Wendigo, and then, like, obviously,
cutting off his own fingers.
he cut off his own fingers because
that he
which
just had
was-
the shittiest time out of
I know.
anybody.
But
Yeah,
you know what?
like,
If you chose
Sam-
right, he got to make friends with the dog, which isn't all bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, sure. But I mean, like, Sam was up there taking a bath.
Yeah, for like half the game.
He's up like in a sanatorium cutting his fingers off and shit. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like he had kind of the most character growth, and I really enjoyed that. But I'm sure if there's different decisions that you could make where another character might have more of a character growth. But I just really liked how he kind of was just like, okay, I have to make it through this, and like, and then at the very end where you had the choice to like turn the switch on or whatever, and like I said before, I was stupid because I didn't I didn't know that the whole house was gonna blow up. But that totally happened. But like the guy that was like actually like determined to make it out alive just gets killed. It's because of me. It's because of me.
It's your fault. It's all you.
Like,
you
my
killed
one
Mike.
one of my favorite characters in the game. I killed him. So
Yeah, you went through all of that to be killed by you, Andrew.
So I don't know. That was definitely my favorite moment of the game, was where he was by himself, and he was looking for Jess, and then he thought she died, but yeah, that was definitely my favorite moment.
I got the outcome where she straight up died at the beginning when he was chasing, because I thought of Mike. I tried to make decisions based off of what I thought their character would actually do. So I had Mike choose all the safe routes. So I guess I went too slow, and by the time I found her mouth was just ripped apart, and then she fell down the elevator, and and then you find her head later on, and that was the end of that.
Literally, honestly, every chance I could take, I always went the fastest route. I never was like, play it safe. I was like, okay, I gotta catch up to like whoever's like running away. I gotta get out of here.
My girlfriend picked all the safe routes because she couldn't hit the buttons that fast, so she's like, I gotta go slow so that I can hit these buttons.
She's the anti-Sonic.
Yeah, no, she gotta go slow. She gotta go slow.
So yeah, Shaun, what was one of your favorite moments of the game?
It's hard to pick because like it all kind of flows so easily like together. I don't know. I'd probably have to say my favorite, like the point where I was like, oh, this is like really good, is like there's that huge amount of build-up going on like at the beginning where everyone's kind of finding their own kind of creepy stuff going on, like Mike and Jessica are in the woods dealing with like some creep stuff, and then what was it, they find a Ouija board at the house and all that. But when I thought that it was like I stopped and thought this is really cool is when they're, like I said before, there was a part where they're dealing with monsters in the woods, like the dude's hanging around in the sanatorium, while Chris and Ashley are in the basement dealing with some ghost, while Sam is like getting abducted by a serial killer, while like Matt and Emily are up like trying to get help but like getting sent down like a cave. Like all these things are just kind of happening at the same time, and it's like all these awesome horror movie tropes and like genres getting like smashed together in some sort of crazy monster mash type situation.
I wish I had a soundboard where I could just start playing the song Monster Mash. That'd be convenient.
Next time.
I totally understand what you're saying with how intricate and how spread out like the story got, but it was still able to make sense, and you're still able to get through it without getting like confused or anything. Where you're like you're starting to play and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? It was never like that, and that's something I appreciate as well in the game.
And like once you play through it one time and then go back and play through it again, you notice a lot more that you missed the first time, and things make even more sense, and the story like just kind of flows in a really well put together way.
Yeah, I'm
And
still
then-
trying. Go on.
I was just gonna give a quick shout out to probably my favorite moment of the game when what was it? Chris is trying to get into the house because the door's locked or shut, frozen, and what was it? Josh leaves him in there. He's like, "Hey, you down for wandering around the dark by yourself for a while?" And he's like, "No, not really, but I'll do it." It's like, yeah. I feel like that's what this whole game is.
Yeah.
Hell no.
That's what I would have been like. I'm like, not really, but I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, guess I have to. I never understood why they had to have like the whole flamethrower mechanic. I didn't understand why couldn't they just hold the lighter up towards the handle?
That
It was just
so
to make
funny.
things difficult.
My girlfriend was like, "They're gonna kill themselves with this fucking can. They're just gonna
It's not
blow it
going to
up."
even be anything horror related. They're just going to fucking light themselves on fire.
She's like, "All these people are gonna die. They're idiots."
And it was funny. One of the totems that you find in that area is someone being lit on fire, and that caused me to think, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck up with this flamethrower."
You're gonna set Emily on fire with the deodorant can.
Before we go on to the next portion I want to get into, I think my favorite moment is it's like two small moments combined together that relate to each other in a way. I really liked the portions with like the analyst and him asking you like what do you fear and all this stuff, particularly the parts about what do you fear the most. And I picked the obvious ones. Like at the end, he starts talking about my obvious fear of like spiders, needles, and clowns.
Yeah.
And like later on, when you go back to him, there's like a big ass needle on the fucking desk. There's a spider in a jar, and there is a mannequin with a clown head on it.
Yeah.
That's sort of just looking off in the distance at first, but when you come back to it even later, he's like crouched like this, looking at you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck, no.
That was rough.
And also integrating those parts into the story, like they weren't major parts, but like after that, when you go into the library and you find the hidden room, if you pick spiders, there's a spider that'll crawl across the screen. And then if you pick clowns, something that'll jump out at you a couple of times is something like two different mannequins with a clown head, which freaks me the fuck out.
Did you both pick clowns?
Yep.
Yeah.
Over scarecrows? All right, so my girlfriend sees the two choices, and she's like, all right, well, does the clown look like that? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, I don't know. I don't like scarecrows. And I'm like, how are you more afraid of scarecrows? I was like,
I've always seen that as like a trope in horror films and stuff of like scarecrows are scary, but I've never really met anybody who has been like, yeah, dude, they're fucking right. Scarecrows are
exactly.
I'm like, how is this scarecrow more scary than this fucking creepy clown that's like sitting here ready to like murder your face? I don't know.
But through this current playthrough, I'm just trying to. My goal right now is just to try to get everybody alive. And when I got to the part again, I was like, I'm gonna pick Scarecrow because I don't fucking feel like dealing with scary ass clowns anymore. So, so that was my like personal favorite. It's like seeing like the little details that were able to come back up, which is something I really appreciated. The next thing I want to talk about, just real quick for a couple minutes before we sort of wrap up a little bit, is how closely did you pay attention to the totems, and did that really change how you play the game or how you made decisions?
Well, when we were playing through it, I definitely paid attention to the totems, and like there was times, like we saw one where I guess Mike like lights a lighter and like blows himself up or something like that. So I kind of stuck like me and my buddy Christian, who's actually playing the game, were like, all right, well, don't light your lighter. It's like whenever something like that happens. But we didn't really. I don't know. It's hard to tell like how they're gonna die like that until it's already happened.
Yeah.
Because like sure it shows you like hey this is how someone could die. Yeah.
But it doesn't show you the build up, so it's hard to
it doesn't
really
show you what's really happening.
Yeah.
So we saw like Matt like falls off a cliff and like smashes his head on something, but we didn't see how that happened. So we're like, all right, stay away from the ledges. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they could have elaborated a little more on the totems to help you out, but I guess it didn't
don't
want
wanna
to
make it
hold
too
hold your hands too much,
Yeah.
which is something else I appreciate.
Yeah, it's fun to watch people die sometimes.
Yeah.
So. That's creepy.
That just got dark.
Andrew, did it change your way of playing the game at all?
I think it might have made me a little bit more cautious, like here and there. But also, I kind of think maybe those choices were going to happen if you didn't act fast enough. You know, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of quick time events and
Yeah.
different choices you can make throughout the game. And I don't know, like maybe the totem was like, okay, well, if you don't press triangle or square or whatever fast enough, like this is what's going to happen. Like you're going to kill off a character. But
It sounds like they're threatening you.
yeah, like
If you don't push it fast enough, boy.
Yeah, and that was interesting, and I thought that was really cool because like, not that I'm a fan of this show or anything, but my parents love NCIS. Like the whatever, it's like another CSI. But the thing about NCIS is that before every before like every commercial, before like every commercial break in the show, it shows you like a shot of like something that's gonna happen like when it comes back, which is kind of interesting. I mean,
it's smart. Keeps you watch the show.
Yeah, sometimes it's really nothing major, but sometimes like you see like I don't know, like one time I was watching like an episode with my parents and like the guy was like lying on the ground, he was like bleeding. It's like, oh well, like something bad's gonna happen, but like how is it gonna happen? And so that's like something I really think is cool with like Until Dawn is like it could happen, but like you're kind of you're kind of like you are the person that determines whether or not it happens. And the scary part is you don't know what you're supposed like what you're gonna do to like make that actually happen.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you, did you find the totem that would have prevented you from killing everyone, Andrew?
No.
No, you didn't find that totem? I'm sorry, bud.
Something that was interesting that I found out in a post on Facebook to help save one of the people, which is Josh. That's the psycho, right? That's Josh.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to prevent his death when he gets picked up by the Wendigo. That's obviously his sister, and then it didn't really give me any like choices or decisions. I was like, what the fuck do I do? And then his head got smashed in, and for a second I was like, maybe there wasn't anything I could have done about that. Maybe he was like destined to be killed. But then someone corrected me by saying everyone can survive.
Can live, yeah.
And I found out how you can change his fate, which was a little interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen that or found or know about.
Find like a journal or something, right?
You have to find every single like there are little like collectible things that you can find throughout the game. One of them is like the totems and the clues. So one of them is the sisters category, and you have to find every single one of them for him to recognize his sister fast enough.
Well, he had to see the tattoo in pictures like 100 times before he remembered his sister had a tattoo.
I don't know how that really affects anything, but from what I've seen, or from what I've been told, it's like Josh has to find out the truth about his sisters before he gets to that part.
Yeah.
So that's my current goal through the playthrough right now, is to make sure I don't miss anything. So I'm literally going through every little tiny portion of the game to find everything. And I found the 1952 stuff really interesting about the first Wendigos and buying the land, and which is interesting because I particularly am not a fan of horror films because I think they're dumb and they're formulaic and they're the same thing every single time. But fucking weirdly enough, they made me care in this game. So I'll give them props for that.
Yeah. I think they did a really good job with the clues, like, and kind of giving a lot of story away from the story. Like, you know pretty much everything about what's going on just by looking around. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to Ricky, who is a regular correspondent of Biz Owning Gamers. He couldn't make it today because he's working, but he sent in some thoughts and a couple questions for us that we might want to discuss. He writes, Until Dawn's everything I wanted to have the power to do in a horror game. It's the most beautiful game I've played on the PlayStation 4 so far. And the questions I have for the show are, could the amount of choices that we have in the game, could that possibly have been pushed further? Like, did we want more choices that could affect the story, or do we think it was the right amount? And then he asks if Quantic Dream is going to hit back, referencing that this is sort of Quantic Dream's territory of Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain's one of Ricky's favorite games.
I absolutely love Heavy Rain.
And so he's questioning whether or not Quantic Dream is going to try to do something similar in the aspects of trying to, now since they have sort of a major competition here besides Telltale, I guess, if they're going to try to do anything else. So my first, I just sort of put that all on the plate, but what I want to focus on right now is, do you guys agree that this might be one of the prettiest games on the PlayStation 4 right now?
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially when they're close up on people's faces, and I know that might be awkward at times. Like, the camera's just like right in someone's face, but like, I know a lot of people have said this. I know Colin Moriarty from Kinda Funny said this, but like, when you're talking to the psychiatrist, and Peter Stormare, like just weird guy, like in every single movie ever. But
he's just
when
a
you're
weirdo.
talking to him, when you're talking to him, you're like, is this like real? Like, because it's so detailed, and the lighting in like his portions of the game are really good, and I mean it's crazy. Like, just think like 10 years ago or whatever, 10, 15 years ago, this is like a dream, that you'd never expect to see a video game look this good. And I think it is probably PlayStation's best looking game. I played The Order 1886, and I thought that was a really good looking game too. But like,
I heard that was the only good aspect of it.
I mean, I platinumed it and then I got rid of it. But I want to play excited for that game. I was so excited for that game. Anyways, but like, it's a sleeper hit,
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like it came out in the worst time too. In juxtaposition to Dying Light, which was totally like a sleeper hit and which no one was talking about it, and then it came out at like the perfect time when nothing else was coming out, and then a bunch of people started talking about it. This sort of came out like Until Dawn. I feel like a good amount of people have started talking about it because it is interesting enough to talk about, but I feel like it could have done way better. Maybe next spring, or even switch Until Dawn and Order 1886, and maybe if Until Dawn was
priority,
which was something that was brought up. I don't know like what it was. It was something kind of funny related where Colin Moriarty was perplexed by why they weren't trying to advertise this game up the fucking ass. Because the only reason I knew about it was because one day there's just like a bunch of Let's Plays up, like out of nowhere. It was like all these like 10-minute like demo Let's Plays. And I saw it, and I watched Kind of Funnies, and they talked about like what the game was and making decisions. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll probably check it out later if it gets good reviews, and I got good reviews, and I bought it. And $60 later, here I am.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be a PS3 game. You know, it was supposed to.
Really, I did not know that.
Yeah,
it's supposed to have move controls.
Game. It was supposed to have move controls, and then like Sony was like, well, fuck it, like let's completely retool this whole thing, and then came up with like this awesome experience. And like I said, it's like a sleeper hit. I mean, it might have come out at the wrong time, but I also feel like something that might be like beneficial for it is like word of mouth. Like when people ask me, hey, have you played Until Dawn? I'll be like, yes, and I loved it. And I think anyone that's looking for a unique gaming experience should play it. Or, hey, it's kind of like you're purchasing a movie, but then you control the movie, and you can go back and play the movie like 10 different ways. Yeah, and so I'm sure there's more than 10 different, but like it's just like that. It's just that really unique experience that you just don't see like here and there, and it is a shame that Sony didn't
try to
market it more. Like, and it was so weird. Like, oh, let's put out Order 1886.
Which we knew was not going to be the greatest game.
Yeah, like everyone from every like little preview event from that game was like, meh, like it's like whatever. And I'm like, oh, please be good. And I went and bought the game, and you know what? I platinumed it and then got rid of it, and I probably lost like $30, but from trading or whatever. But I mean, like this game definitely would have benefited if like Sony was like, all right, we're gonna put more resources into this thing, and then get it out sooner. Like it would have been great at the beginning of the summer because there really wasn't anything at that time either. So Dying Light, but which was a great game too. So yeah, I'm just ashamed, but I'm sure it'll do fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaun, do you agree with the beautifulness of Until Dawn?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, especially, I think its high point is the whole face acting. I don't know what to call that. Face motion capture. Yeah, kind of stuff they did. Like recently, I've been watching someone play L.A. Noire, which is one of the first games I remember them having that kind of facial motion capture like technology in a game. And looking at the difference between that and this, it's like leagues ahead of where it was before.
Yeah,
like even back then, I was like blown away.
L.A. Noire was like this big deal because of that, and now I saw my cousin playing it like a couple months ago. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's not as good as it once was, but I think this game is really awesome with the way it does lighting and all that, and that's kind of how it's been with the PS4. It's like you sit there, you play like The Witcher, and the light actually shines through the trees, and everything just looks beautiful. There's like grass blowing in the wind, and it actually looks like a real place. And then this game does it like there's just the lighting, and like you see the little specks of dust like kind of float in the air, like it probably would in like this old cabin that like no one goes to.
It nails that horror movie tone, and like I'm like you, Barrett. Like I don't think horror movies are anything special. They're the same thing every year. Like it comes out, there's like Paranormal Activity like 10 or whatever, but when it comes to horror movies that I have seen, like this nails like that tone. Like really
it hits every trope as well. You got like elements of Saw in there and Friday the 13th and all that kind of stuff.
That was probably like my favorite parts when it came to the horror aspects of it was the Saw moments.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like I might want a sequel of Until Dawn where it's more about making decisions like right on the spot of who lives, who dies, or I gotta do this right now. With more of like those like game, like want to play a game moments.
Yeah.
I really liked that part, especially because the first time around I chose that I was going to kill Ashley, and then it
Yeah.
turned over to Josh like anyway. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
That's what my buddy did too. He was like, no, 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 no.
Did I press the wrong button? What the fuck happened?
She was not nearly pissed enough for that. Because he was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. And then she lives. It's like, she definitely kind of took that, like, really well.
There's another point later where you have the decision to either shoot her or shoot yourself.
Yeah.
And the gun has blanks, so no one's going to die. But if you choose to like point the gun at her first, that comes to bite Chris in the ass later. And when he's being chased back into the cabin by the Wendigo, she doesn't open the door for him, and then he can die at that part.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Like-
I totally pointed the gun at her.
Does he
And I
have
thought-
at that point?
Well, sorry.
Sorry.
I said, did he have to die at that point if she doesn't open the door, or can you do some sort of like QTE to get out of it?
I'm sure there's a way. That was something a friend had told me. So,
Okay. I'm not sure.
I would have
just-
to hit him. I would have to hit him back up to see if there's any way to get out of it.
Yeah.
But the way he worded it made it seem like if you didn't do that earlier, you were fucked.
Yeah.
So Ricky also asked how many different possibilities are, like how many different endings are in this game, and I want to say, if we're just looking at the amount of people who live and die, there's 9. You have 0 people living by the end, or all 8 people living by the end. Something that I feel like are subtle little changes are the relationships with everybody at the end when they're all being interviewed.
Yeah.
And seeing how much that can change if everybody like, let's say I played through it like 3 times where everybody lives, like how much of a difference at the end of each of those games would it be where how they all feel about each other?
Yeah.
So possibly this could have like I can't do math right now. I'm just gonna throw out a number, like I'm gonna say 40 endings. If you count like all the dialogue at the end and how they feel about each other. Yeah, I ended up with M, Matt, Sam, and Chris. And by the end of the game, M hated the shit out of Matt because Matt left her to die like she should have, but she lived. Anything you guys wanted to talk about before we head out? Anything that you felt like I have not focused on quite yet that you want to bring up?
When it comes to a sequel to the game, and yeah, I mean, who knows? I feel like there will be a sequel, especially from all the good reception that everyone's been giving it. And when it comes to a sequel, I think I would like to see a completely different situation. Like completely different characters.
Not Wendigos.
Yeah, not like different environment or whatever. And I think that'd be really awesome. And just kind of do like what a lot of TV shows are doing, are like, oh, one season is here, but then another season's like
yeah.
Like an
And
anthology
thanks to American Horror Story.
yeah.
I feel like that was the first one that really did it.
I think
That could be
so.
wrong. Yeah, and especially if they kept those like same aspects of like the Wendigos in the second one, I feel like everybody would not be as scared, and that's something else of how much of a replay value the first one has right now. Definitely you want to play it over again if you wanted to, like, I'm dedicated to get everybody alive by the end of this fucking game. But after the second playthrough, like, already I'm sort of getting tired of, like, story parts. I'm like, I just want to get through this part.
Yeah, you already know what's happening.
Yeah.
It's not a mystery anymore,
There is the option though, and I haven't tried this out. There is the option to, if once you've beaten the game, to go back through chapters and select what part you want to start from. So I might just start doing that at one point and just start from the point where people possibly start dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's like my one final thought of, I'm interested to see how the replay value is going to hold up for the general audience and all of that.
Yeah.
Shaun,
I think naturally it kind of warrants a replay.
Oh yeah, because you got to go back. You got to like, fuck, I got to fix all of these different things. But once you get that perfect, I think another thought I have, once I eventually get all of them saved, what I want to try to do is see how fast every single one of them can die.
You just want to kill them all?
Yeah, at one point, because there's got to be an achievement for that. There's got to be like
for no one living. Yeah, you get a different ending and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to see like how, like what's the soonest possible moment everyone can die. Like I know there's a couple obvious ones. Like I feel like Sam doesn't. There's no way for Sam to die really before like the last scene. I feel like there's a couple points where Mike could possibly die before that. I feel like Josh can't die until his sister's grabbing him as the Wendigo. But I'm very interested to see, because there's a point early on in the game where Mike and Jessica are having a snowball fight. And the first time I played through it, Jessica threw the snowball at the bird.
Yeah.
And for some reason that had changed something. Because the first time I did that, I threw the snowball at the bird, there was an icicle, like a sharp-ass icicle, that came down and possibly could have killed him, but then I was able to do the QTE, like, it was like one of those slow ones at the beginning, so I was like, alright. So I'm interested to see if I don't do anything, if they just die right then and there.
That'd be pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, if like they totally just die before any of like the actual shit happens.
I wonder if Josh would still like prank everybody then, or if he'd be like, "Oh shit, like people
have already
get off
died."
This mountain.
Yeah, that's my I guess one of my thoughts, one of my closing thoughts.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else to close with?
I was just wondering how. Like, did you guys really get scared by this game at any point? Because, like, I'm a self-proclaimed gigantic pussy when it comes to horror games and horror movies, and, like, any little thing makes me jump. So...
I think it's hard because I don't play many horror games, but the ones I have played, I'm always scared as fuck, which is very different to watching horror movies.
Yeah.
And I think it's reasonable for anybody to be scared while playing Until Dawn or any sort of horror game, because at that point it's like it's happening to you.
Yeah.
No matter like what character you're playing as, no matter if you're playing as dumb Jessica or bitchy Emily, like that's still like you in a way. So that's the scary part. So yeah, I might have yelped a couple times. I might have. I definitely jumped when that clown popped up in the middle of the forest. I was not a fan of that.
Yep.
Also, I wasn't scared by it, but I was very surprised when I picked Ashley to die, but then I went over to Josh. Like, I thought it was gonna black out when it went in through him, but it kept going through him, and you saw all the guts come out. I was like, oh. Yeah. Fuck, this is.
Well, they want you to know
that for a reason.
Yeah.
Also, this wasn't personally me, but during our Let's Play, we were at the part where, like, Chris and Ashley are at the library, and then they try to go find Josh, and then Ashley gets taken in by the psycho, and then Chris is like on the floor and he gets up, and then the psycho comes out of nowhere and punches him in the face. I just want to give a shout out to Alyssa, who totally yelped at that point. Just like those jump scares that get you, especially the fucking elks. Can we talk about those dumb elks in the middle of the forest? They're like, we're
That
not.
at you?
Yes.
That
did.
scared you?
Because I knew the monster, whatever the fuck at that point I didn't know what it was yet. But when like the elk is like jumping, like when you're playing as Mike and Jessica and you throw the rock at the tree and then the elk jumps out, I thought it was gonna be the monster or something. So it jumped and I was like, oh fuck, oh it's a dumb animal, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, the part where Hayden Panera, she's getting ready to take a bath or whatever, and I don't know, was she looking for the can of deodorant or whatever, the flamethrower? I can't remember, but she opens the cover and like a freaking raccoon or something flies out of it. I was like, oh shit! Like,
The Basher.
I got so I jumped.
Yeah.
And then the part where Chris and Ashley are in the basement, and Ashley's like the only one that's seeing this ghost like walking around or whatever.
Yeah.
And Chris opens the door and he walks in. Then Ashley walks in and the ghost like pops up in her face.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped. Like,
yep.
Yeah, no, I've watched that part like 6 times through watching other people play, and it still gets me. I fucking hate ghosts. I hate it.
Me.
Yeah, it's like I know it's coming. It still makes me jump.
Yeah, it's sort of like the one comparison I have to it, which actually does it better in a way, was Batman Arkham Knight. When
the
run
Man
into
Bat.
Man-Bat.
Man-Bat,
I have a video up on my channel of me jumping to that.
It's different for the regular game and New Game Plus. In the regular game, it's like this one building, but I noticed in New Game Plus, it's in a completely different location earlier in the game. So both times I played through Arkham Knight, that almost made me shit my pants.
They added a lot of scary shit in Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Like there's the whole thing where you're like first person as the Joker at the end or something. Oh, I guess maybe we shouldn't talk about it. This isn't the Arkham Knight Spoilercast.
Yeah.
But things get fucking
out a really good Arkham Knight Spoilercast. You should go check out my boy Alex O'Neill. He did a Spoilercast with the Greg Miller about Batman Arkham Knight. I got to watch them live and it was really fun. So if you want to check that out. Cool. I think it's a little too late. It's a little too after the fact to do an Arkham Knight spoiler cast anymore.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we should just take a moment to appreciate how fucking good Arkham Knight was with the horror aspects at least.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm a big fat pussy, so.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there's anything like stupid that I was like scared of. Oh, not related, but at the given point when you're Ashley and you're in the cave and you're looking for Mike with Sam and the others, and there's a point where you hear Jessica's voice down the cave. Which way did you go?
Well, the first time I seen it, my buddy Christian decided to go down that way and proceeded to get his head ripped off, and that was the first character that had died for him, and he was just like, what the fuck was that? He's like, come on. And then my girlfriend, it was hilarious because watching her do it, she's like, yeah, I'm not going that way. She's like, fuck that shit. And then went to go meet the other people. So yeah, it's funny seeing how they handled it differently.
It's definitely, because I know if the game ends up a certain way for you, like during my second playthrough, Jessica, the last time I saw her, she was alive, and then she fell down the elevator shaft, so I know she's somewhere in the cave.
Yeah.
If I did that, if I got that opportunity at the beginning of my first playthrough, I might have gone and checked out the cave. Yeah. But I knew she was dead already by that point, and so when Ashley said Jessica, I was like, nah, that bitch is dead. You stay with the group. So I was just very interested. And what were you gonna say, Andrew?
Sorry, I just wanted to call out some bullshit on that part. Okay, first of all, it's who? It's Sam, it's Chris, and it's Ashley. So they get.
It depends on who's alive.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you shot Emily in the face, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Whoops. Anyways. So I had those three, and Hayden Panera. I'm always gonna call her that.
Yeah.
She is like, oh, make sure you close the hatch behind you and then catch up with us. I'm like, bitch, just wait like a minute.
Wait, like
I'll
5
wait
fucking
two
seconds. Like, where-
Just wait. Just wait. Okay, where people are dying. It's dark down here. You
And
can't
your first
wait
thought
30
is to
Yeah.
you should. There should have been an option
she-
to yell at her.
And
Like,
she said it in such a bitchy tone too. She's like, make sure you close the hatch and like catch up. I'm like, okay.
Which was
Fuck
a very
you,
weird
like-
point because that was so unlike Sam's character, where it's just like,
Yeah.
where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, exactly. And then I proceeded to get killed because I got a little curious, and then a Wendigo popped up and ripped my head off. Which kind of
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, man. Don't be curious. Just stop that.
right?
Oh, I had a thought and then I lost it. Yeah, should we wrap it up there, or are we satisfied with what we've had to say today?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've pretty much covered how awesome this game is, all the choices you can make, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, again,
certified fresh.
Yeah.
Until Dawn came out on August 25th, I believe. It was developed by Supermassive Games, available on the PlayStation 4 exclusively. Or at least that's what I've been told. I don't know if it's anything
No,
weird.
I
like
think it's exclusive.
Okay, because sometimes I get confused by Xbox, where they're like,
Well, Xbox
hey,
just makes
we-
up what words mean sometimes.
we own Tomb Raider, but we don't. So
I don't know.
So it is. Until Dawn is exclusively on the PlayStation 4. You can pick it up now. It's available at your local GameStops, your local Best Buys, and your local mom and pop stores if they carry that sort of thing. Developed by Supermassive Games. Their first AAA hit, I would say. Before they've done this, they did a bunch of DLC content for insignificant games like Little Big Planet. And so I guess my last thought here is I'm excited for Supermassive's future because this is definitely a great start to get your name out there. So I am interested to see if they stick with the horror aspect of it, or if they decide to go somewhere completely different and do like an action adventure game, but still with that choice making aspects, because that's what they're going to be known for now, is that sort of like Rocksteady was with the Batman Arkham fighting mechanics.
Yeah.
Like Rocksteady's known for that now, and I feel like Supermassive's going to be the same, of like the way the story can pan out by the choices you make. So I feel like they almost have to follow up with that system.
I want an Until Dawn too. I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I could go for either way. Honestly, I'm super excited for what they might have coming. And so thank you.
Sorry. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what other people will do. In response to Until Dawn,
Yeah, like Telltale and
Quantic Dream. Will they be like, okay, now we got to up our game or whatever? But
I just know Telltale is going to look at Until Dawn, and they're going to look back at their own games, and they're going to be like, fuck, our games look really bad.
Yeah, yep.
They're fine for story stuff, but fuck, those games look awful.
That's exactly what I purchased them for.
They are not appealing to the eye.
Exactly what you purchased them for.
Good stories.
Yeah, no, they do it.
So yeah, I'm interested. Quantic Dream is developing something right now. I don't know what exactly, if they've announced anything, but the last I've heard, they're definitely doing something right now, but I don't know if they've actually announced it.
I don't know. Beyond Two Souls is pretty shitty, so.
Yeah. So hopefully they come back and do something just fucking awesome, like Heavy Rain, or So thank you for joining us here at Bayzona Gamer's very first Spoilercast for Until Dawn, joined by the friendly and lovely and beautiful guys of Comics and Joysticks. Today we had Andrew Taylor and Shaun Donahue. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, Donahue. You
got that.
Yeah.
I'm from the Midwest, so I do sort of know how to say those the white names
Thank
over
you.
there. That's I gotta guess. Is that Irish?
Yeah.
Or am I totally off? Okay.
No, I'm super Irish.
I'm Irish as well, but I'm not as in touch with the Irish roots, I would say.
So you don't drink a lot? Is that?
No, I actually don't. I am not a raging alcoholic.
Okay.
So thank you for joining us here. To both of you guys, thank you for coming on to
Yeah, man.
the show and discussing your thoughts on this lovely game. Like I said at the beginning of the show, where can we find you guys anywhere else, just in case the people missed it?
Well, we're on YouTube as Comics and Joysticks. You can find us on Twitter, Comic Joystick. We're on SoundCloud, Comics and Joysticks. So pretty much just my favorite thing about Comics and Joysticks is I type it in Google sometimes, and we actually come up like as like either the first or second thing. I don't know.
That's cool.
So yeah, just type it in anywhere, you'll find us.
And if you're not,
sorry.
no, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. There's like a little latency, but we do a weekly comic book like review podcast. I think what do we do every Thursday night? And
Yeah, every Thursday. Well, now we're starting to talk about games as well. It's the Comics and Joysticks podcast. Yep.
And so you guys do that every Thursday.
Yep, we do that every Thursday. We usually live stream it on Twitch and then put it up on YouTube right after. So.
Yeah, and SoundCloud. So.
Yeah, and SoundCloud, all that.
And so that's if you're part of our audience and you want to check out more really awesome content like us, you can check out Comics and Joysticks. And if you're watching this and you're one of the fans of Comics and Joysticks, I'm going to plug my own stuff here real quick. I am the leader of a tiny little group called BzG's Gamers. It's just three guys, myself, my good friends Henry and Ricky, and we've got a couple of shows on our YouTube page, youtube.com/BzGamers. We have like a review show where we review like video games, comics, music, whatever really, and then we have a topic-based talk show called Talking Shit, where one of us brings in a topic of discussion. We talk some shit about it, and then every Friday, normally we have a Let's Play on Friday, which is going on this week because we're very amateur at what we do. This week is a little different because usually what we need to record our like those other shows is our tech guy Seven, who is a good friend of ours, and he helps us with all of that. And so he was out of town this last week. So if you check our page out right now, we're doing a full week of Let's Plays if you want to check those out. Today we did a little thing called Mad Max Mondays that I have started. I'm going to play through different aspects of the Mad Max game, which I'm enjoying a lot right now. So,
yeah.
And then if you want even more, we're also on SoundCloud. You can get like our full. We record all of those shows in one take. So if you want to get like the full like outtakes and like extra content, you can check us out on SoundCloud.com/Bea hyphen I think Bea hyphen Zona hyphen Gamers hyphen not hyphen at the last part. Just look up BzG's Gamers, you'll find us. And then if you want to check out our Twitch stuff, we're on twitch.tv/BzG's Gamers every Wednesday at 12:15 p.m. Pacific time. The three of us talk about all of the current nerdy news and pop culture news and all of that good stuff. A very, very amateur version of Colin and Greg Live. They like to joke about that show being a garbage truck on fire, but you have yet to see our fucking garbage truck on fire.
It's just a garbage can.
It's just literally a can. We haven't upgraded. So if you want to keep up to date with any of us, because our schedules are constantly changing and stuff, you can find our Twitter at BzGamers, and you can tweet at me personally at BenandlerShaun, which is a obscure Friends reference if you know the Friends '90s TV show. So that was it. Thank you again for joining us, and Andrew and Shaun, thank you for joining me so much today.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. I hope we talk again soon about other stuff that we love to talk about. So I don't know how to end this. That's not awkward.
Hey, this wasn't awkward. See you guys.
This was Awkward Episode, brought to you by Miley Cyrus. Thank you so much, and until next time, because we might do another spoiler cast, whether it's with Comics and Joysticks or anybody else. Until our next possible spoiler cast for anything else, have a great day full of unique, interesting video games, much like Until Dawn. Thank you.